The question is PQRST are 5 students, each of whom answered 5 questions in an examination. Each question has 5 answer choices A, B, C, D and E. The answers marked by the 5 students are given in the following table. So in the table we have been given 5 students and the answers marked by them for the questions. So P for question 1 marked option B, P for question 2 answered option E, P for question 3 answered option B. So that is how we have to read the table. Reading further, the following information is known regarding them. So we have been given some clues regarding all these students. First one is each student has answered at least one question correct or right in the examination. So every student has to answer at least one question correct in the examination. There would be no student who is answering all the questions wrong. Then the next clue is only one student has got all the answers correct in the examination. So there is only one student who has answered all the questions correctly. Then next clue is except P and Q, no two among the others have got the same number of questions correct in the examination. So P and Q, they are the only students who have answered same number of questions correctly. So this is a very important clue for us. At last, the clue is each question has only one correct answer. So we have been given that every question will have only one correct answer. Now let us read the questions that we have. How many questions were answered correctly by P? So let us read all the clues once again and we'll try to solve this set. See, we were clearly given that except P and Q, no two among the others have got the same number of questions correct in the examination. And we had one more clue that only one student has got all the answers correct in the examination. So if I merge both these clues, then if P is the one who has answered all questions correctly, then Q will also be the one who has answered all the questions correctly. But if both P and Q become the ones who have answered all the questions correctly, then the second clue is violated, which said that only one student has got all the answers correct in the examination. So that means neither P nor Q can be the ones who have answered all the questions correctly. So P is not the one who has answered all the questions correctly, Q is not the one who has answered all the questions correctly. So now if P and Q cannot answer all the questions correctly, then it is very clear that someone among R, S, T would have answered all the questions correctly. So what we need to do is we need to make 3 cases over here. First, by assuming that R answered all the questions correctly, and then relative to that we will check answers of all others, and in that particular case in which P and Q answer the same number of questions correctly, that will be the correct option. So if we check it for R first, let us assume that R has answered all questions correctly. So if we assume that R is the one who has answered all the questions correctly, so for question 1 B will be the right answer, for question 2 C, for question 3 A, for question 4 E will be the right answer, for question 5 D will be the right answer. So for question 1, all those who have not marked B as the answer, they will be incorrect. So S will be incorrect, all these will be correct. Then for question 2, C will be the correct answer, so S and T will be right, these two will be wrong. For question 3, A is the correct answer, so these two will be wrong, these two will be incorrect. For question 4, E is the right answer, so these two will be correct, these two will be wrong. And for question 5, D is the right answer, so these 3 will be right, this will be incorrect. So let us check if P and Q, they have answered same number of questions correctly. In this case, P has answered 2 questions correctly while Q has answered 4 questions correctly. So it is very clear that R cannot be the one who has answered all the questions correctly, because P and Q must answer the same number of questions correctly. So our assumption that R answered all questions correctly, it was wrong over here. Let us assume that S is the one who has answered all the questions correctly. If S is the one who has answered all the questions correctly, then E will be the right answer for question 1, C will be the right answer for question 2, B for question 3, E for question 4, A for question 5. So all those who have not marked E as the option for question 1, they will be wrong. So P, Q, R, T, they all are wrong. For question 2, C is the right answer, so T is right, R is right, these two are wrong. For question 3, B is the right answer, so he is right, P is right, all these are wrong. For question 4, E is the answer, so these two will be correct, these two will be wrong. For question 5, A is the right answer, so all of them will be incorrect. So in this case, P has answered one question correctly, Q has answered one question correctly, R has answered two questions correctly, S has answered how many? 5 questions correctly, and T has answered one question correctly. Now in this case, we can see that though P and Q, they are answering same number of questions correctly, but T is also here who is answering just one question correctly, and we were given that except P and Q, there is no one who is answered the same number of questions correctly. So that means this case is also wrong, because here we are getting 3 people who are answering same number of questions correctly, P, Q, T. So our assumption that S is the one who has answered all the questions correctly, it will be wrong. Now at last we are remaining with T, so let us assume that T is the one who has answered all the questions correctly. So if T is the one who has answered all the questions correctly, these will be the right answers for question 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So P will be right, Q will be right, R will be right, he will be wrong. For question 2, C is right, so these two will be correct, these two incorrect. For question 3, A is right, so these two correct, these two incorrect. For question 4, B is right, so he'll be right, all 3 will be incorrect. For question 5, D is correct, so this will be the case. Here P is answering 3 questions correctly, Q is answering 3 questions correctly, R is answering how many? 1, 2, 3, 4 questions correctly. S is answering 1 question correctly, and T is the one who is answering 5 questions correctly. So here we can see that we have only P and Q who are answering same number of questions correctly. So all the conditions are being satisfied when we assume that T is the one who is answering all the questions correctly. So this is the case we wanted. T is the one who is answering all the questions correctly. Now we can easily answer the questions. How many questions were answered correctly by P? So 3 questions were answered correctly by P. What is the right choice or answer for question 2? So for question 2, option C is the correct answer. So D will be the right answer over here. Which of the following combination is correct? So T is answering 5, R is answering 1, no, this is incorrect. P is answering 5, incorrect. S is answering 5, this is incorrect. Question number 4 is which of the following persons has got all the questions correct? So it is T over here. So as soon as you crack the set, you can solve the question within seconds. I hope you understood the solution. If there's any doubt, please ask again. Thank you.